I was wondering.
Hey, your quality's probably.
Yeah, I was wondering since you're the pro, so.
You'll be back, and we're going to fight to get you. So, stay encouraged. So this wonderful lady here was wrongfully, summarily terminated, indiscriminately terminated today, and she's got some great things to say. And then if you want to get a word with me, as
Yeah,
I
do. I don't know if you guys need. I do. If I can get
get us together.
Yeah, we can get us together. Yeah.
Okay, you're going to interview her and let her
Yeah,
share her story, or
Yeah,
we
already
interviewed.
questions to both, or
Yeah, to both. Yeah, if you don't mind doing it over again.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Do
Do you
it.
mind if you come right over here?
Yeah, if you all come right over here.
we just follow your questions.
Yes.
So you want to do him first?
Yeah. Well, we can do talk with either one.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we start with you?
Yeah,
so you
let's
can
just
give us an
start.
Starting where
overview
you
of
wanna
what's
start.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready? All right. Yeah. Can you kind of just give us kind of like an opening remark just about the meeting and basically what it means for a lot of these workers?
Well, today is a sad day in America, and it's especially a sad day for federal workers who just happen to be Americans, and mothers and fathers and veterans, and are the backbone, are part of the backbone of this country. So today is a sad day at the IRS.
And obviously, you just came out of a meeting. What all did you hear from them?
Well, I conducted a meeting on behalf of NTEU Chapter 84 as the president of our labor union, and I spoke with the employees, and I shared with them a number of things. I touched on the presidential executive orders, the presidential memorandums. I touched on the possibility of forthcoming large cuts in the federal government, RIFs, and these things are agency-wide. So these cuts are not just at the IRS. Today just happens to be D-Day for the IRS across the nation for our probationary employees. Sad day.
Yeah. We know the Orlando office was affected. What other offices in Central Florida were affected as well with the IRS?
Well, the local offices in Central Florida, our main offices is downtown Orlando, where we're at, but we also have offices in Daytona Beach, in Melbourne, Florida, and in Lakeland. So those fall within the NTEU Chapter 84 oversight in terms of the union.
And I know, Deborah, you were one of the employees that were unfortunately laid off. What's going through your head right now?
It's a hard day. I wasn't expecting this because we were still believing that merit was going to be play a big role into this, and unfortunately, this has nothing to do with merit. So I am disappointed.
Yeah. And how did you find out? I know that you told me that you received an email.
Yeah, last night we received an email to report to the office, and this morning at 11 we got a termination letter.
And, have you thought about what the next steps for you are after this?
No, I need to rethink my career because I took a big leap of faith to go to the government. I was working in the private sector for over 20 years, and I used to teach as well. So now I need to really stop and rethink what are my next steps.
And I know that it's a question for both of you all. When it comes to the IRS, where does that leave this office, seeing as that so many workers just got let go?
I believe it's going to be hard to perform their jobs. There's not enough people to really do what needs to be done for the American people.
So the IRS is this, what's happening here today and across the United States, these reductions, these terminations are going to impact the services that the IRS provide. So it's going to have an impact on taxpayer refunds, identity theft issues, and not only the IRS, each and every federal agent that's losing tens of thousands of probationary employees, it's going to affect the American people. It affects us as Americans. We're Americans. We're veterans. We're a cross-section of America. But these agencies and these indiscriminate probationary cuts are going to affect every federal agency and the services they provide. A Veterans Administration, veterans, Social Security, signing up for Social Security, you've been denied, contesting the denial, veterans seeing their doctors, and on and on and on and on. It's sad. It's a sad day, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And we know that the Trump administration has been aggressive when it comes to basically doing these type of efforts and whatnot. You were talking about the ripple effects of that. Is that kind of what you all are worried about, how it can affect people later on?
Well, it impacts the whole community. We are Americans. We have mortgages, we have car payments, we have kids at school. So every single one of the employees that got fired today need to think how we are going to do next. What are we going to do next? It's hard.
The president issued an additional executive order on the 11th of February. And in that executive order, which one can access on whitehouse.com, it indicates that, and it directs a significant reduction in force across the federal government for each and every agency. And that the directive was that be reported back up to the White House through OMB and OPM and DOJ within 240 days. So if the president's executive order, if that executive order is implemented and carried out, it's going to be a significant impact on federal workers, which are everyday Americans, and it's going to have a significant impact on the services that Americans count on and pay taxes for, but are going to be delayed. They may not be received.
It's counterintuitive, it's counterintuitive to the efficiency goal of DOJ. Right, they are trying to justify these firings with efficiency and lack of merit. There's nothing efficient about firing employees that are doing their jobs, getting trained and have experience to do their jobs. It's not efficient, and it doesn't. It has nothing to do with merit. It is absurd.
And that is a great point that was just made. Because the U.S. government spends hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars, on recruiting new employees, on background investigations for new employees, on their respective training, which may take a year collectively through different periods, and then through having OJIs, on-job instructors, actually working with them one-on-one, and then you just indiscriminately tell them to go? What a waste of money. And as you say, that's just counterintuitive. I mean, it contradicts what is coming out of the White House.
And Deborah, you were telling me that you not only have 20 years of experience in that field that you're in, but also you used to teach classes at UCF, so you were someone that actually has a lot of experience.
Yeah, I do have international doctorate in international tax, a master in international tax. I've been working with international tax and transfer pricing for the last 20 years. I used to teach at the University of Florida and Texas A&M online transfer pricing program. So if they're talking about merit and experience, I think I shouldn't be on the list, but the reality is I'm a probationary employee, and that's why I'm being fired. I'm not being fired not fired, I'm being terminated. I'm being laid off because I'm the low-hanging fruit. It's easier to address it's easier to terminate our contracts. There's no merit or evaluation being done.
A lot of these probationary employees that were terminated at the IRS today have successful ratings. They have successful probationary ratings. And they're receiving emails that indicate that they're poor performers, and that's the basis of their termination. Yeah. It's a farce.
Yeah. I have emails from all my teammates saying how much I have contributed to the work, and I have proven my value to the government. So it's a little bit of it's a sad day to see that that doesn't matter that what matters is a number. Matters the bottom line. They're trying to reach that number, and I'm part of that number. I'm not considered as a person with value. They're looking at me as a number. Because a lot of other of my colleagues that got terminated today have a vast amount of experience, and there is a lot of knowledge being lost with this action today.
And if you can just talk about from your family standpoint, what does it mean for you and your family right now?
I'm one of the lucky ones because I have a husband that can keep it going for a few days while I can decide my next steps. But a lot of people here, they're the sole income earners, and they're going to be very stressed out on the next few months, and so it's going to be hard.
I have had 2 single mothers reach out to me that were terminated today. 2 single mothers, one with 2 children and one with 3 children that are widows. They don't have a spouse. They're the breadwinners. And they have children. And now they don't have a job because a decision was made to just indiscriminately dismiss them. Tragic. Tragic.
So for the union, what is kind of your next step in this process of helping these former workers?
The National Treasury Employees Union is headquartered out of Washington, D.C. And as we speak, we have at least 5 lawsuits in federal court to counter some of these actions that are being taken.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for waiting.
No problem.
Had to wait a long time.
No problem.
Honor meeting you, too.
Yes,
Honor to meet you.